recording on the set. We're talking about Seahawks. I'm happy to be talking about the Seahawks because it's been a hot minute since we had Seahawk talk, and that's my team. So I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to start off by saying the offense is going to be just fine. We have our quarterback. There is absolutely no reason why the Seahawks are going to go out of the way to go get another quarterback just to sit on the bench. Gino's going to be good. He's going to be good for at least 5 years, if not more. Running back, that's Kenneth Walker. I'm telling you, if he wasn't injured, he'd probably be Rookie of the Year. Everybody knows it. He is that type of talent. He's generational. DK Metcalf's DK. Lockett is Lockett. Eckridge, maybe he can use some work, but I think this is going to be the year if he can stay out of the injury list, or off the injury list rather. He's going to be just fine. Tight end is going to be a conversation that we'll have in a hot minute. And look, offensive line. I think it's ironic that Russell Wilson left and then the offensive line just shows up, and due in part because old boy left. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had things to work with. We have money. We have picks. Shout out to Russell Wilson because he did more for us by leaving than staying. So yes, Russell Wilson is blessed us. He's blessed us with some assets. We got 2 rookies on the edge that are actually going to be beasts this year for their sophomore year. Interior could use some work, but I think with the gameplay that we'll have with more experience, the offensive line is going to be a top 10. And if they're top 10, I promise you, if our offensive line is top 10, Geno Smith is going to be top 5. And if he's top 5 in quarterbacks this coming season, that means our run game is going to be on point. Maybe number 3 or 2, maybe even number 1, which means DK and Lockett are going to be the mans. And if we have a tight end, which we'll talk about in a bit, we're going to be even uber more talented. Now, defense, we sucked. Defense, we need help. Defense, we need help. I cannot say this enough. Defense, we need help. You know what we did though? Off season currently right now, as we're having this conversation, we went out and got some assets. So we got some edge rushers that are serviceable. Bobby Wags, probably the best pickup that we have. Not only does he know the defense, but last year rated the top. Yes, last year Bobby Wags rated the top linebacker. Okay, so like y'all get off him. Stop saying that he is old. Bobby Wags can still perform. Now, the beginning of the season, we had a drop off in our defense because we had an injury that was major. So look, Jamal Adams is going to be back. Is he going to be 100%? I think he's going to be 100%, and he's going to be even better with the tools around him. We have Woolen, Kobe Bryant, Diggs. Oh man, our DB core is gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. And this is good, man, because you got Michael Jackson, who is gonna be just fine. He's learning the ropes. Woolen's learning the ropes. Kobe Bryant's learning the ropes, which is awesome because we got Diggs, who's teaching them the ropes. Defense is gonna be just fine if they do one thing. If they do one thing, they're gonna be just fine, and that is drafting either 1, the most talented, which is Jalen Carter, or 2, the best edge rusher, which is Will Anderson. If you get Seahawks, you draft one of these cats, we're going to be even that. I think we're going to be contenders. That is the one thing that we are missing, is a defensive presence in the interior, or maybe like on the edge. Either way, I think it's harder for the NFL. It's harder in the NFL to find an interior lineman that can change the landscape for the whole entire team than it is to find an edge rusher. Will it be easier to have a Will Anderson on the roster? I think yes. Less trouble. He's more mature. Nick Saban speaks highly of this man. He speaks highly of this man, which he does not do for nobody else. He doesn't do that for the quarterback. He doesn't do that for the running backs that he ever had. And by the way, they make running backs. He speaks about Will Anderson as the guy who really represents what Alabama is all about. He works hard. He shows up. He does everything on his own. He doesn't need to be told what to do. In fact, he is the leader. So if that doesn't say anything to you, it means he's going to be just fine whichever team he goes to. We would just like him to be on our team so he can help us. On the other end, you got Jalen Carter, the most talented person in the whole draft. There's going to be a whole bunch of quarterbacks flying off because they literally need them. The teams picking them literally need them. but we need a defensive player who's going to change the game for us, and that could be Jalen Carter, who has had off the field trouble. However, I will preface this by saying, when's the last time you heard of the Seahawks really getting in trouble? You don't. You hear about it when they leave. So if Jalen Carter comes into our house, rest assured, he's going to take his shoes off. We're going to take care of him. We have the infrastructure. Bobby Wags is a real vet. Diggs is a real vet. Jamal Adams is a real vet. We got real vets on the defensive side. So he's going to be just fine if he comes with us. What will that do for us? Ultimately, that will give us, I think that will give us more chances at scoring because we'll be able to get the ball back with turnovers. Our DB core, ball hawks, linebackers are fast. Brooks is going to be back from his injury. Nwasu, we don't necessarily have to, if we draft another edge rusher, we don't necessarily have to rely on him being on the ground. He could be stand up and covering, and then every once in a while get into the quarterback's face. So look, I think what hangs in the balance is whether we're going to draft that talent that we desperately need. And if I know the Seahawks, they're probably going to make the right choice 100% of the time. They find guys. They literally find guys. Now, I mentioned before the tight end is a conversation we need to have. And I mentioned that because there is absolutely somebody in the draft that reminds me of Gronk. And even more than Gronk, reminds me of a total unit. And if you've ever watched Georgia play last year, you would have seen that there was a guy who was 6'7", 265 poundish, running a 4.6. Yes, I said 6'7", 265-ish, running a 4.6. That reminds me of somebody named Gronk. That's Darnell Washington, y'all. Darnell Washington is an absolute unit. If he gets drafted to the Seahawks, I promise you, Gino's gonna find him. Because Gino finds everybody. Gino, I think, had the highest quarterback rating of last year. So he knows how to find people. He will find the open man. This man will be open. Look, if you get this guy, right? He is not going to go down at the first contact. But if you get this guy, who, as a defensive-minded player or coach, who are you going to guard? Are you gonna put all your players in the box for Kenneth Walker, which means DK is going to be wide open 100% of the time? Or are you going to shadow DK, which means Lockett's going to be open, and Washington will be open? The play action will be through the roof. And he blocks. He can block. Now, will we take him in the first round? I'm not sure, but I would not be mad at all if we took him. Look, we draft our defensive needs, but if we go in the first round and we draft this beast, we're gonna be just fine. But look, that's my take. Seahawks have uber talent. If we can stay off the injury list, we're gonna be just fine. I think we're definitely gonna be in contention with the Niners, who are also uber talented with CMC. CMC really opened up the floor for them. We don't know who their quarterback's going to be because they have options, but that's not for me to discuss. I am a Seahawks fan. I'm talking about Seahawks right now. We'll discuss the Niners later. But just to reiterate, Gino is going to be the quarterback. We're not drafting another quarterback. We have a running back. Do we need more? Yes, absolutely, because we tend to have injuries at that position. All teams tend to have injuries at that position. DK is a monster. I just want to reiterate, DK is a monster. And Mr. Consistency and Lockett, that's our man. That's our guy. If we can get ourselves a tight end, Darnell Washington, that's my man. Draft him, please. Draft Darnell Washington. He'll take us to the promised land. He got big hands, boy. And if you're looking at the interior, as far as linemen, yes, we can use a guard or two, but what we have as far as the tackles, we're A-okay. My hands, yeah, man, they can use some lotion. Defense, we made some signings over the summer, or rather over the winter, fall, whatever season this is. We made some signings. Those are good. We have Bobby Wags back. He's going to be great. He's probably going to be the top talent as far as producing with the whole entire league of linebackers. He's probably going to be top talent. Jamal Adams is going to be healthy. He's going to contribute. He's probably going to be the top strong safety if he can stay healthy, just because we have actual DBs that are going to contribute. Seahawks, this is going to be a good year. This is going to be a good year. Look, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Who you think is going to get drafted first? Who are we going to draft? Who are we actually going to draft? If you think it's going to be a quarterback, I'm gonna respond with a laughing emoji. Anyways, that's me. It's Friday. Happy Friday.